you so much for joining us on this very special occasion. My name is Andrew Baker, principal here at Slingerlands Elementary School, and I welcome you to our 2023 Slingerlands 5th grade Moving On ceremony. Also reading their essay today, I'd like to welcome up Antonio Gonzalez Cherry from Mrs. Qualter's class.
In life, there are always going to be challenges from when you are really young until you are very old. Challenges can range from the smallest things to the biggest you've ever faced. When I started school at Slingerlands, I had to face some. Coming from Colombia, a Spanish-speaking country, eating different foods, being a small kid that was in the middle of his childhood. On my first day of school, I was a bit nervous because I could only say yes or no. However, what I've learned is that challenges are meant to be overcome, and I soon did. Mrs. Monty, my kindergarten teacher, was very empathetic. She taught me to care for others. A memory I have with her and Mrs. Lewis, my E&L teacher, is when they showed me around the school for the very first time. They were very caring, they were very kind, and they showed empathy for me. They talked to me very slowly, trying to make me understand what they were saying, even though I didn't understand a lot. This memory will forever be in my heart. Just from watching them, Mrs. Monty and Mrs. Lewis taught me to always have empathy for people. Kindergarten was a very big challenge because I didn't know any English. I wasn't used to the culture, and I didn't have any friends. By the end of the year, I had mostly overcome these challenges. Mrs. Lewis helped me a lot. She was very understanding and kind, one of my best teachers ever. And before I knew it, first grade had started. First grade was much easier than kindergarten, but I wouldn't call it super easy. I would still be overcoming challenges in first grade, getting more and more used to American culture. For example, I still didn't like the food. I understood English, but would always be confused at jokes because I wouldn't get them. But my E&L class helped a lot. And the more time passed, the more English I would understand. Miss Bacon, my first grade teacher, was extremely helpful and kind. I would sometimes get into trouble, but even then she would continue to help me with my English and things in the classroom. She would always say positive things to my mom and dad, and I always liked the way she taught. It was very easy to understand her lessons. Time sped up, and I finally graduated from first grade. Second grade was when things started to change. I was very adapted to American culture. I could understand jokes, and everything was so much easier. Oh, how I looked at the year ahead and thought it would be great. No challenges in front of me. Then came March. School was shut down. The whole world got shut down. I thought that COVID-19 would soon end and we could go back to school, but it didn't. It worsened. Mrs. Rice, my second grade teacher, was, I think, very courageous. With COVID destroying the entire world and us having online classes, she still would teach us in a way that showed she didn't give up. And she taught us the best way she could through a computer screen. Through example, she taught me to never give up in the worst circumstances. I would sometimes cry because I thought that the whole year was ruined, and I hated it. But she taught me to continue to persevere, and I did. That year, I always hoped to be able to return to school in person, but we never did, and the school year eventually came to an end. I got used to being home, learning on a computer screen, and though it was very hard, yet again, I overcame a big challenge. When third grade came along, everybody was a bit tired of the year before. There was so much stress because of COVID. When we got to school, we all had to wear masks, but I was excited that we could go to school. Mrs. Zinecki, my third grade teacher, was wonderful because while everyone was stressed out about COVID, she made it seem like COVID didn't even exist. She tried her best on us. always teaching us new things and keeping things fun, positive, and carefree. She, I think, was one of my favorite teachers. She taught me to be resilient because I saw how she was able to carry on and teach despite there being so much fear of COVID and stress. I had lots of fun with friends despite their grade being a hard year for all of us. In the end, I overcame many challenges because I accepted that COVID was a problem that we were all going to have to go through. We started 4th grade 6 feet apart and masked, not knowing our distant future this year. But as the days passed by into months, some of the challenges we faced started to be solved. Halfway through the year, we finally got to take off our masks. After a long 2 years, our experience with COVID had changed. I had Mrs. Clarkson, and I remember how she always had a compliment for everyone. I noticed she tried to see the best in everyone. I learned positivity can have a powerful effect on people. We had overcome many challenges to get to this point. And before long, I was ready for 5th grade. The first time we saw Miss Gualtier, we were all very excited to meet her. Right off the bat, you can tell she is a very open-minded person. She was always excited to learn about every culture. I consider Miss Gualtier as a very accepting person. Although I am very open and curious about different subjects, she reinforced that curiosity even more. I really like that about Miss Gualtier. A special memory I have about Miss Gualtier is when she let me share a presentation about my home country, Colombia. And the whole time she was very engaged with me and my mom's presentation. I think Miss Gualtier is my favorite teacher I've ever had because she is very kind, open to cultures, understanding, and handles lots of situations very well. 5th grade for me still had ups and downs, especially for the first few months of the year when Miss Gualtier wasn't here. And, like past years, I encountered challenges, but in the end, I overcame them all. I have changed so much since I was in kindergarten. When I came here, I was a little boy who didn't even know how to speak English, not knowing basically anything about this country, and was put in a school. That school, Slingerlands Elementary, has been very supportive and helpful. I have changed into a new person. I am fluent in English, I have adapted to American culture while remaining proud of where I come from, and most importantly, I have overcome all the obstacles over the years. Now I'm here in 5th grade about to graduate. I feel ready for middle school because out of all the challenges that I faced, I've overcome them all. And I know that I am ready to face more throughout my entire life. Thank you, Slingerlands, for an excellent 6 years. And thank you to all my teachers for caring about me so much and always helping, especially when I had just arrived here. It's been a roller coaster, but I enjoyed the ride. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. Great job. Mrs. Gualtier's class, please come up. Just want to commend the audience on doing such a great job of following directions this morning. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Philip Bruce. Miles Bryant. Lita Condon. Devin Felix. Antonio Gonzalez Chari. Stella Grasso. Athena Hua. Arnav Giacometti. Otto Knob. Anjali Mack. Gitika Nagandi. Matthew Petty. Jacob Perry. Ella Raphael. Emma Saxton. Maxim Seisler. Andor Shum. Christina Sway. Emily Tesserera. Congratulations. This is Qualtera's class, Slingerlands 2023.
throw in the coin.